Hey, you guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and I want to talk about the future state for the past 2 weeks. So this week and last week, because I forgot to talk about it. And it was a little hit and miss for me for the future state titles. Last week, I think the best one out of all of them probably had to be the Dark Detective for me. Um I just really enjoy Dark Detective. Surprisingly, I enjoy Green Lantern, but I enjoy the stories after the main story. The main story of Green Lanterns didn't really interest me because it didn't really tell me anything. It just picked up where they don't have their powers and they're fighting to try to get these aliens off a planet before it blows up while getting attacked by invaders. And I'm just like, okay, that's great and all, but what happened? It just feels like there's nothing there for me. I would have to say the worst ones was definitely Kara Zor-El, Superwoman, and Superman, Wonder Woman. Hot garbage. They were both hot garbage. The problem with Superman and Wonder Woman is the art. It can never decide how it wants to be. Um, Yara Floyd's attitude just was terrible, to be honest, and it just makes a little nonsensical. And see, that's another thing when you have a story called Superman of Metropolis. It's like, where does this take place at? And then you have Justice League that shows Yara and John again, but from Superman and Wonder Woman, it looks like the Justice League hasn't been formed yet, or that version of the Justice League it has formed, but Yara's not on it. So it makes it inconsistent, to be honest. When you're reading the books, Teen Titans Future State, I'm just not even interested in it. The big hype was Red X, and it's just stupid because once again, you're taking the knowledge that people had to watch the animated show in order for this Red Hood thing. I mean, not Red Hood, but Red X thing to be a thing. When you could have saved that for an ongoing Nightwing run or whatever. But you kind of just shoehorn Red X in here when reading a Nightwing comic, and you just like, no, that's not what really happened. He never had this costume before. And again, I'm just getting really annoyed seeing the Titans depressed or destroyed for no reason. DC has like some like hater bone for these legacy characters, but then want to come up with brand new diverse characters, but you kill the legacy characters that were already diverse to begin with. It just makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense, to be honest. Um, Kara Zor-El, Superwoman, was just childish, to be honest, to me, and it came off so stupid, so stupid. It didn't make Kara look interesting at all. The middle stories, I would say Justice League, Robin Eternal were pretty okay, decently as well. Justice League, the first story I could care less for, but I was interested in the Justice League Dark. But to be honest, that Justice League Dark could have been a Justice League Dark annual book instead, and you could have, filled out the Justice League book actually, because that's what it really felt like. You needed to fill out the Justice League book more so than anything, and a lot of the book come off a little condescending and, oh look, we have diversity, and look, it's mostly women for no reason. We don't know anything about half of these characters. The only characters we do know is like the next Batman, Superman, and Yara. The other characters are kind of brand new to most people, and it just wasn't an interesting go around for me to be interested enough to pick up Justice League, this version of Justice League anyway. If this was like an ongoing team, I just would have been like, screw it. you know. I just wasn't really interested in it. Robin Eternal, it was just great to see Tim Drake getting some spotlight, to be honest. He deserves it. DC's been treating him like trash since the New 52 as well, so it's great to see Tim Drake get his time in the spotlight. Um, So for the next one was Future State Batman number 2, and Catwoman, Immortal, Wonder Woman, Nightwing, Shazam, Superman, War of Wars. So let's see. Catwoman was all right. Catwoman was all right. I don't know if any of you guys ever seen the movie that Chris Evans did called Snowpiercer, and right now it's a TV show on TNT. That's the rebooted one. But if you ever watched the movie with Chris Evans in it, Octavian Spencer, that's what the Catwoman book felt like. It was pretty decent. I had no issues with it really, and it's kind of weird that at the end, spoiler alert, that Bruce Wayne is being held captive, because again, you have Dark Detective where he's like on the run and stuff like that. So again, the only problem is the inconsistency of the timelines that they're doing for these stories. That's why I'm just like, oh man, it should have just been an event or something, or alternate Elseworlds story title, because if this some of this stuff is supposed to be a lead up into the main continuity books, it just makes absolutely no sense, to be honest. That's my big issue with Future State, that I'm coming to find out that there's really no consistency between the titles, and some of the titles will have characters or moments from the other books, and then you're just like, wait, hold on, when did this happen though? That's another problem. That was another problem. I I would say Batman was okay as well. Batman was okay. It was decent. It wasn't the greatest one, but it was okay. I really didn't have any problems with reading the next Batman. Surprisingly, the artwork felt like it was better to me than it was. Oh, the backup issues with Batgirls, terrible, and the Gotham Sirens, that was terrible too. But again, it suffers from the same as the first issue. You have this story that you want to tell with this new Batman character. Let that story be told and stop with the backup issues, because the backup issues don't really help it. If anything, it hinders the story even more so than anything. And the backup stories that they do give weren't really all that great, especially in this number 2 issue. It was just not good. I'm not even gonna sit up here and lie. It was not good. Immortal, Wonder Woman. The first story was pretty interesting. It makes you wonder what happened. I like the little Easter egg nod to like DCAU fans of Wonder Bat. If you guys are fans of Wonder Bat, I'm a fan of Wonder Bat too. Where Wonder Woman and Batman have feelings for each other, but Batman will always make excuses and stuff like that. But you can just see when she goes back to the Batcave, when the book opens, of how much she really misses Bruce Wayne, Batman, and stuff like that. And it's something that I'd rather DC do more with than Superman and Wonder Woman. For some reason, the only time I was okay with Superman and Wonder Woman was literally Kingdom Come, and it's because they explained all of the stuff away, and it just felt really right for them. But when they force it, like with the New 52, the DC AU movies that they did with the New 52 stuff, it just comes off so ugh. You know what I mean? And the same thing with Injustice too. It just doesn't feel pure or anything. But when it comes to like Batman and Wonder Woman in alternate takes or whatever, stuff like that, for some reason DC makes that work so well, and I would love to see more of that than anything else, to be honest. If Wonder Woman doesn't have Steve Trevor, and if Batman doesn't have Catwoman or Talia al Ghul, I will want to see Diana and Batman, because it just works for some reason. It works. They make it work. They even make it work in DCEU. The chemistry between Gal Gadot and Ben Affleck is amazing. So it was really cool to see that kind of stuff. I am interested in seeing what really happened to the Earth to be so torn up or whatever. But so far so good. And then the backup issue, which had Nubia, which is so cool. I love to see Nubia, and it looks like they're holding on to the origins of her actually being Diana's twin sister. And she's fighting Grail, of course, Darkseid's daughter, Amazonian daughter. That was pretty cool to see. The only problem with that one is like halfway after the fight or whatever, Nubia goes to this club where her auntie works at, and they talk while drinking, and then Nubia disappears. And it was just like, wait, hold on, what? You kind of dragged that out a little too long with them talking and drinking, and then she disappears into a portal. But again, it's pretty interesting. I'm very interested in seeing where the Immortal Wonder Woman goes, and to see Nubia, because let's be honest, it's Nubia. Like, I've been waiting for her to get some spotlight since forever. The next one that I read was Nightwing. The only problem is with the way I was hearing from the solicitation, it looked like Nightwing was gonna have to be um an insane person to be locked up in Arkham Asylum, but it looks like no, not really. It looks like he's just using the abandoned Arkham Asylum to wage war on the Magistrate and team up with the next Batman. That's really about it. That's really much what you need to know about the Nightwing run. His costume is just retarded, to be honest. I'm not even gonna lie. The chin straps, the straps, all that kind of stuff is just so unnecessary, to be honest. It's just like, okay, whatever, cool, you do you, Nightwing. But it was an okay read, to be honest. This week's run of the Future State actually probably was the best one out of all 3 weeks of Future State, to be honest, if you ask me, because I didn't really have any problem with them. The only one that really let me down is Superman War of Wars, because you have all these people talking about Superman saving them or whatever, and then like literally the last couple of panels before the Superman War of War storyline ends is when you see Superman, and you're like, wait, why did we spend all this time setting that up? You know what I mean? And then it jumps to Mr. Miracle. And again, that's where that inconsistency that I was telling you about comes into play, because if you read Mr. Miracle, this Mr. Miracle story takes place in issue 2. I mean, after issue 2 of Superman of Metropolis, but Superman of Metropolis haven't shown up yet. So it was just like, wait, hold on. Why would you put this story in Superman War at Wars, and then Superman of Metropolis hasn't even came out yet? That conflicts me again. So that's another problem. Mr. Miracle was pretty cool. It's just like, but I feel like we were missing something. And you can tell you were missing something just from that. Midnighter is Midnighter. Like, if you read a Midnighter comic book, it's pretty cool. And it looks like he's doing something, and the authorities are sending in his husband, maybe his husband. It depends, because for some reason DC wants to break up Apollo and Midnighter, even though everybody loves Apollo and Midnighter together. They're basically gay Batman and gay Superman. Just let them be together. Stop with the nonsense, DC. Jesus Christ. You have a good gay couple, and you still keep trying to destroy it for no reason. But whatever. Midnighter is Midnighter. So that was pretty cool. And then they did Black Racer. I don't know anything about this character. It looks interesting. But I don't know where it's taking place at. So it's the same thing with Midnighter. That's the another thing. Midnighter and Black Racer, I don't know if it's taking place at the same time as Superman been captured for the War Wars. That'll be really interesting to see where it goes. But the book does feel a little too overbloated. I would have took out the Mr. Miracle issue, because that Mr. Miracle issue should have waited until after Superman of Metropolis came out. That way you can get a little bit more story from the main story itself. And I think the best one that I read was the Shazam one, surprisingly, the Captain Marvel one. It really feels like they're really doing something with Captain Marvel finally. My suggestion for DC with the Captain Marvel stuff is after all of this, do a Captain Marvel story, but no offense, get rid of the foster diverse family. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's nothing much you can do with them. Yes, you have them in the movies. Let them stay in the movies. Let them stay in the movies. But for comic book wise, stay with the original Marvel family. Stay with the original Marvel family. So that means Mary, Freddie, Billy, the uncle, the tiger, and stuff like that. But other than that, remove the other kids, because the other kids just holds back the Marvel family line, because it's just unnecessary, it's unneeded. They don't really have a good reasoning, and that was my thing when I was reading the Jeff Johns 2019 run, is just that they don't really have any idea what they want to do with these kids, because they really can't do anything with these kids because they're brand new characters that Jeff Johns created, but has no idea what to do with them, because you're literally trying to destroy the foundation of the Marvel family to try to make this work. And that's the problem. But I was really enjoying the fact that, Captain Marvel and Billy were separated. Another spoiler alert. I'm sorry, spoiler alert. Were separated, and Billy has to like protect the foundation of the Rock of Eternity, while Shazam, aka Captain Marvel, has to stay on Earth and do what he's supposed to do when he's not, summoned by Billy or whatever. So it was really cool to see that Billy gave up his life and his soul to be a wall defense from the devil, to protect the magic of the Rock of Eternity, while Shazam goes out and do what he's supposed to do. And that was pretty cool, and it was pretty cool to see Tanya Spears, aka Power Girl 2, but now they named her Powerhouse, and looks like she can also turn gigantic too, where like, hold on, I need some answers for that. And it was cool to see this version of Question. I don't know which Question that one is, because Vixen said use Victor Sage past tense, so that means this must be Question number 3, because if you guys remember from pre-New 52, Renee Montoya became Question after the original Question had died in 52. But that's another topic, whatever. But to see Tanya Spears and see this story with actually Captain Marvel being a center focus, and then seeing something going on with him, makes it really interesting. I really wish we could see more. I want to see Mary show up, and I want to see Freddie show up, because those two need to show up. And what's going on in Future State Captain Marvel anyway is amazing so far. I like what I'm reading from it. I can't wait to see what happens in issue number 2, but I am all in for Captain Marvel, to be honest. But yeah, that was my quick little oversight of the Future State. Tell me what you guys think. Did you find anyone from last week or this week your favorite? So far, I can tell you the worst for me is literally Kara Zor-El Superwoman from last week, and the worst one would have to be Superman World at War. The only reason why I say that is because of the story. The main story didn't really have much to do with that whole setup premise of Superman being a gladiator fighter or whatever. If they had did a little bit more, we would have been fine. But other than that, no. That's the only reason why I would say it's the worst, because I'm only focusing on the main story or whatever. All the main stories were actually decent, but Kara Zor-El and the Superman Worlds of War has to be the worst ones for me. But other than that, yeah, that was it. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.